Testing 1 2 1 2. Yo yo yo, what's up? So we're back after a little bit of a summer break. What's up, Dev Jolly? It's been a while indeed. Testing success indeed. Good morning, Calvino. And thank you, appreciate it. So yeah, this is first stream after a bit of a break. It feels a little bit unusual, a little bit weird. If anything sounds or looks weird, just tell me, we'll try and fix it. Yeah, I think I've been long hiatus. I think it is 2 months or something like that. Fucking sucks, man. But now we're back. Thank you, Devioli. Missed this little interaction in my morning work hours. Well, I'm back, so let's do this. And to be honest, I haven't really done anything related to this game this summer. Maybe just a little bit of very small tinkering and some minor cleanup and stuff like that. So we're actually gonna jump right in where we left off, and that's gonna be fixing or improving and optimizing the action system. I want to make it ready for implementing creatures, basically. Yo, what's up, Geralt? Good morning. Thank you, appreciate it. Hope you all had a great summer, by the way. And Calvino, you're back in time for Silksong. Yeah, I saw the great news. But if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't play the first one, not yet anyway. Okay. So, when I say the action system, I'm talking about everything to every type of action. Like, it can be jump, even though it doesn't seem to work that great right now. But jump, sit, pick up, place, all of these actions, we're gonna work and improve the underlying system a tiny bit. That's what we're gonna do. And yo, Geralt, thank you for the Prime, appreciate it. Great way to start this Monday morning. Calvino summer was great, by the way. Got the pool up and running with 30 degrees. Great lunch break during working days. Jesus, that's nice. Yeah, a pool must have been amazing this summer. Yo, what's up, Harukanan? Good morning. Hope you had a great summer as well. I'm just trying to get used to all of this again. But let's see here. So what I'm talking about, what we're gonna fix is everything related to this one. So pretty much all of these. I want to improve it a tiny bit and optimize it. Make it ready for the creatures, because the plan is to start implementing the creatures this fall. Arcanan was all right, went to Mallorca for a week, so that was nice. Sounds nice. Calvino, what is the first creature joining the game? It's actually going to be... I think I mentioned this previously. But anyway, it's gonna be like a stone creature, so a pretty static stone creature. It's not gonna do a lot, actually. It's mostly gonna lay around, it's gonna have some basic needs, but not too much. So we're gonna start small, like with a creature that doesn't need any animations and stuff like that, and then we're gonna implement more complicated and greater creatures as we go. Creature collecting game for autistic kids who collect rocks. We're gonna have something for everyone. That's the idea. Okay, so before we jump into this action system and improve upon it, I just need to like familiarize myself with it once again, but it shouldn't take too long. And Devioli, sadly, I need to head back to work right away. Currently, it's a stressful time. Sorry to hear, sorry to hear. We're close to our release window. That's pretty cool though. Good luck, and thank you, appreciate it. So in the old system, I think we can take action. An action has a set of dependencies. Action dependency. An action dependency is, we define action dependencies as something that can be in, or an action dependency can be of two types, or three actually, but we're just using two, I think. None, in state, and not state. For instance, the pickup action has a dependency on focus. For pickup to be able to trigger, focus needs to be in state processing. So we actually have dependency type, so in state or not state, and then we have the state in question. So that means that we can have in state available, not in state available, not in, not in, not in. I mean, it's pretty nice. We have a provider as well. So when we set up these dependencies, we can make one of them be the provider of the interactable. Not entirely sure just yet if we want to keep this in new system. It's a little bit... I don't know, it's not as lean as I would like it. So we will provide, we'll take an additional look on this one. I want to add some notes here. Notes. Rework how provider is implemented. Yo, what's up, Cooler SK? I wanted to join the grand return party, but my video doesn't load. Oh fuck, that sucks. Hopefully... I'm having a pretty good bitrate and stuff like that, I think. Hopefully it's not on my end. Yo, what's up, Vintrix? I'm good. First stream in a while. How about you? So, avoid avoid to implement action as mono behavior. I think this is pretty straightforward. We're gonna have a lot of action classes. We don't want all of them to be mono behavior. Instead, we're gonna have an action handler that works with actions. It's gonna be our coroutine. Yeah, so instead of having each and every action being a mono behavior like we have right now, so we have them all like this, we're just gonna have an action handler which handles a set of actions. I think that's the way to go. And then we also have rework how provider is implemented. Instead of having each action define its own provider, we're probably going to do some form of unified system where we always have the same provider. We're going to look into this soon. Vintrix, missed your streams while working. I appreciate it, man. That's what they are for. Something to have in the background or passively watch while you do productive or non-productive stuff as well. And it helps me being focused as well. It's actually a win-win. And I've missed streaming as well. I've missed game deving, I've missed streaming, so it feels great to be back. Okay, so that's the provider. And then we have something, just a Boolean called interrupts processing. And this one is basically just used to, so if we have an action, if we have action A that depends on action B, so let's say that action B is in the correct state, so action A is enabled, and then we start processing action A, and then action B changes its state, should it interrupt processing A? So should we interrupt this process based on its dependencies? True or false? And then we have action reference here. So that's just where we set the actual pointer, or the pointer to the actual action. So we define these, and then on startup, this one gets set. And then we just have a is fulfilled method. If we don't have an action reference, we set true. Otherwise, we just check if the dependency is fulfilled, basically. I mean, it's pretty nice, but I think we can clean this up a bit as well. I'm gonna show soon why I think we call this one way too often, and I'm gonna show why and when. But so we have action dependency, we have action state, we have action type, action state machine. This one is new, so this one we don't use this one in the new system just yet, okay? Vintrix, you got me into game dev, actually. It's so much fun. Oh, nice to hear, nice to hear. What are you tinkering with currently? So we ignore action state machine for now. And we're going to jump to action. So we have dependency, which we just went through. We have type. And then we have the state here. So we have a private action state, and then we have a public state. If we fetch it, we just return the private action state. If we set it, we invoke state change event. So basically, anytime we change or an action changes its action state, it sends out a state change event. So anything that listens to this will be notified. And I'm going to show soon where we add listeners to this. Cooler SK, all other streams are working for me, so wonder if it's related to broadcasting server. Fucking sucks, man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everything looks great on my end right now. Vintrix using Godot and testing out some stylized shading. Oh, nice. Very nice. Yeah, and then we have a lot of these stuff. I want to fix some of this. Is ready to process or is processing. It's just a simplification. We check both of these. Are dependencies fulfilled? This one we call a lot. And that's what I mean when we check dependency is fulfilled. I wonder if we can fix this though. And we'll see. And then we have a point here as well. So every action pretty much needs a point of some sort. Can be the point that we're focusing, the point we're jumping from, anything really. Then we have description, get description or get inverse description, because yeah, this is also something we really have to think about. Should actions have a original state or original invoke and a inverse invoke? So for instance, we have, I guess pickup would be a great, we can actually do like this. Oops. Action type. So pickup has, so its original invoke would be to pick something up, right? Its inverse invoke would be to drop something. Do we want our actions to work like this? Or do we want, like, we're actually packing two different sort of actions into one action, right? Pick up and drop. Although they are very similar, but they are the opposite of each other pretty much. Because if we choose to do it like this, what's the inverse action of place or consume? We don't really want any for place or consume or collect. Jump, I don't know, we don't want anything for jump either, I would think. Inspect, yeah. I think we're gonna skip. Actually, consume and stop consuming. Inspect, show info, hide info. I'm wondering if this could be solved in another way. So yeah, we're gonna have, I don't think we need to define it as an action, but we're gonna have a way to cancel any action. So instead of having each action actually being 2 actions, we're just gonna have each action being 1 action, and then we're gonna have like a global canceling method. So pickup, canceling pickup is gonna be drop. Canceling place is gonna be drop. Canceling consume is gonna be just canceling consume. I don't think we will be able to cancel collect nor jump. Yeah. So I think we're gonna add, remove the need for inverse actions. Or maybe not remove the need, or remove the need slash rework. And then we probably want to do remove the need for slash rework inverse actions. So here we pretty much just always want to return a simple description, and that's gonna be these pretty much. Makes me wonder, when it comes to the text prompts and stuff like that, we actually want to, like, one could think that we just, when we want to show which button to click and what happens if we click that button to the player, we could just add cancel in front of the description. So it would be cancel consume or stop consume, stop set. We're gonna have to do, something here. The bottom line is, I wonder if we can clean this up in some way. But we have description inverse. We have 2 different here, I don't know why. Awake, possibly remove. And when it comes to actions as well, I wonder if we want to change it, do some interface instead of abstractions. We will see. Yo, what's up, Mr. Dark? Get affected game object. Here we just return the game object in question. So this is a simple action, right? Try set ready state. Ink 17. What's up? What's up? Mr. Dark, good luck on your work, man. Thank you, appreciate it. You too, you too. Set up dependencies. We're still gonna have to do something very similar to this, I reckon. But my biggest pet peeve with this one is try set ready state. This one is, we call on this one so many times. And every time we call it, we check this one, so we check all dependencies if they are fulfilled. We're probably going to have to do, or we're probably going to do something with a counter. So if an action changes, it's going to notify something, and a counter is going to go up or down. So if an action has two dependencies, if one of those dependencies gets a change, we check if the dependency is fulfilled. If it is, the counter goes down from 2 to 1. And then if the other dependency gets changed and is also fulfilled, the counter is going to go down from 1 to 0. And if it goes to 0, that's when it's ready to use, ready for use, right? And if any of the dependencies changes states, we notify again, and the counter goes up, right? Matao and Diligence, what's up, what's up? Hope you had a beautiful summer, both of you. Mr. Dark, anyways, have a great day, guys. Bye. You too, you too. Seb, what's up, what's up? Do you have any advice on starting game dev? I'm a first-year software engineer student, and I'm learning Java, and I've started making basic games in processing. But I want to make actual good games. That's making actual good games. That's a hard one. I don't even know if I can answer that one, but like, any advice on starting game dev, just do it. That's my only advice, and it seems like you already have, so that's great. And one reason I also want to move away from the abstraction here, so we have action, and then we have action interaction which implements action, and then we have action interaction X that implements action interaction. It's all of these abstract methods. We're going back and forth a bit. It's ready to process, start processing, and so on and so on. I want to simplify this. I want to make it so damn straightforward. Like, this state machine right here is going to be, I want to make it crystal clear. Or like, that's our aim, at least. It's going to be hard to manage that, but we'll do our best. Seb, yeah, I guess just got to keep practicing. Yes, indeed. Good luck. Buzzcut Balkan, what's up, what's up? Do you know any good websites to learn to code? My teacher is useless and I have key exams coming up soon. I'm sorry to hear about the teacher. And good websites to learn to code, like, I don't know. It's probably gonna depend on what you want to code. Like, learn to code, it's pretty vague, it's pretty broad, you know? So if you specify it a bit more, I would love to try and answer that question. hate all of these start processing, stop processing, set up dependencies. Or I hate these together with these, actually. So action interaction, what? Here we have a host entity, action interaction routine, host entity. Point entity provider, interactable entity. Sharu Hayes, what's up, what's up? Yeah, it's been a while. I was a little bit on a summer hiatus, but we're back now. We're gonna stream every weekday. If nothing weird happens, I will notify on my Discord whenever I go live, but the plan is to stream every Monday to Friday and continue on this game. So today, like, how's it going? It's going... I'm just trying to familiarize myself with the code again. We're in the process of improving and reworking the action system in this game. I want to make it ready. I want to make it fully ready for the creatures, because that's what we're going to do after. When this action system, this action state machine is in place, we're going to implement the creatures. Or some of them, at least. Hope you had a wonderful summer, by the way, Sharu. Buzzcut Balkan, I just need to learn Boolean logic, programming fundamentals for Python, and also algorithms. Don't you have that website? Like, don't you have that, like, LeetCode or whatever it's called, where you have a set of programming problems varying in difficulty? I think that's actually a great way to learn the things you're mentioning, like algorithms and Boolean logic. One second, let me see. Yeah, leetcode.com, isn't that one? I would just, like, if that's the things you want to learn, I would go with LeetCode, honestly. And then we have the entity provider here. This is also pretty fucked, honestly. But this is like how we designed the action system from the get-go. We wanted... So... Pickup is going to get its entity from focus, and consume is going to get its entity from pickup. So yeah. And also, one question is, do we want an action to have multiple entity providers? Maybe. Self-interaction. This one also. So we have a method for is Buzzcut Balkan, good luck. And hopefully it's helpful. But like this method right here is ready to process action interaction routine. So we check if the routine is running currently. This is a bit ugly. Then we check entity provider. Then we get the entity. Then we check so that entity, or if it's null, we return false. We just check and check and check and check. I think this is a pretty weird. I'm wondering, we're probably gonna do it like this, honestly. We're gonna split up, I think. We're gonna split up, so action dependency, it's not gonna have a provider here, I don't think. I think we're gonna have a interaction entity provider. So for each action, we're gonna be able to define a list of dependencies, and we're gonna be able to define a list of providers. So we can have one provider, we can have 0, or we can even have 2 or more providers. I think that's a good way to go. Not entirely sure about how I want to solve interrupts processing, however. I think we're gonna have to think about that one a bit, but let's see here. And while we're reworking this one as well, we're gonna introduce some namespacing and make this look way better as well. So I think we're gonna have game.action. We'll see. Can I make this any bigger now? Okay. Action dependency, action state change message. So right before my summer break, this was where we landed on action dependency. So we want to change action dependency to be type previous new. I wonder, however, if this is necessary. Like if we have an action dependency that has where we send both previous and new, this opens up for quite a lot of stuff, but I wonder if it's really necessary, however. Actually, I want to keep edit this one, but I want to be able to do preview real quick. So I think action state, previously we had available, ready, processing, unavailable. This time around, we're thinking of making this a bit more intricate. Unavailable, available, ready, processing, finishing, or interrupting. Does this make sense? So unavailable would be... Unavailable is pretty much for when something unavailable, or bringing something from unavailable to available, or the other way around. It's not something that is done from within the action system or the action handler. It's actually done from some other component. So I would think, or an actual example would be if, I don't know if we're going to have this, but if a creature, for instance, would be knocked out, so passed out, then we would probably set all the actions to unavailable. And when the creature is no longer knocked out, we set them back to available, pretty much. Or if... I think that's a pretty good example, but you could have more specific examples would be... This is not something that we're going to have in the game, but if... so a creature can pick something up, but if that creature no longer has any arms, then pickup will become unavailable because we're not going to be able to pick it up anymore. If pickup depended on arms in the first place. Yeah. But that's the idea anyway, that... Okay, so, and a action is available. So that's like the base state an action is in. And as soon as all of the dependencies are fulfilled, then it's ready. And if it's ready, we can jump to processing, and from processing we go to either finishing or interrupting, and then we go back. Finishing and interrupting is probably going to be used mostly for different cleanups. I don't think we're gonna have... I don't think we're gonna have anything that depends on an action being in state finishing. We'll see about that. I think these states are good. My only question is, if we define something like finishing and interrupting, would we want to have a pre-state for processing? Yo, what's up, Peter? Good luck with the game. Thank you. Appreciate it. I think it's way more important that processing... Fuck, do we actually want to have unavailable, available, ready, initializing, processing, finishing, interrupting? Because if we think about it, so pick up would be... Okay, so available, pick up depends on focus that we need to be... The entity that wants to pick something up needs to focus something. Like, we need to have an object that we're going to pick up, right? So if we go through this one with pick up, so then we have one dependency. If focus is processing, then pickup moves from available to ready. And if we get the... If something starts the action in question, so for playable entities, it's the player that instantiates an action. For creatures, it's going to be the AI brain or agent brain or whatever you want to refer to it as. So we're going to have So in the case of pickup here, we're going to go from ready to pickup, or ready to instantiating or initializing. And initializing for pickup is the actual pickup animation. So maybe the player bending down, picking up the object, and then when we're holding it, that's when we're processing. And then if the player gets shoved by something and drops it, then we go to interrupting. Or if the player cancels the pickup, then we do finishing, which could be putting it down to the ground. So interrupting, dropping whatever we have picked up, finishing, actually placing it back down on the ground, right? I think that's the way we want to do it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. So let's add initializing. Why do we have these as yeah, actually, initializing, finishing, and interrupting, they are all action states that we enter them, and then after a certain time we exit them. So we're always going to be able to, or we're automatically going to exit them. So initializing is automatically gonna convert into or converge into processing, while processing can go on indefinitely, but eventually some input or some event is gonna make us exit processing. But the difference is that we don't automatically exit processing. It's an event or input that makes us exit it. Let's see, I just want to make sure interrupting, finishing. Can we have it like this here? I wonder. Yeah, we can. Okay, beautiful. So then we want to do ready is going to go to initializing instead. And then initializing is going to go to processing. And I'm pretty sure this is what we're going to keep it like. One sec, just gonna pour myself a new cup of coffee. But I think as for action states, this looks pretty good. we're just going to put down some short summary texts here for these before we continue. Yeah, so one sec. Yo, what's up, Artube? What does creature collection game means? That's a good question. I do have a devlog on my YouTube channel, devlog 0, the beginning, that explains what this game is about. But if you don't want to watch that video, think Tamagotchi, Chow Garden, or Viva Pinata. So what we're developing here is something very similar to those games. It's pretty much gonna be... So this is one of the reasons I want this action system to be as perfect as I can, or like very intricate and as perfect as I can, is that it's basically gonna be a simulation of sorts, right? All the creatures are gonna, like, we're gonna simulate a lot of creatures moving around and living their lives, and then the player is gonna be able to interact with them and take care of them pretty much. And this action system is gonna be like, I've talked about the terraforming being like core gameplay, or one of the core gameplay pillars, and this simulation, this action simulation system, or whatever I refer to it as, is gonna be like the second core gameplay pillar, if that makes any sense. Chuba will watch it and come back then. Appreciate it. Enjoy. Okay. So, unavailable. Unavailable is a state. It's a state. Unavailable. I don't want to write the same thing multiple times, but fuck it. Unavailable is a state that is only enterable. Actually, we're going to keep it like this. Can only be set from outside the action system. Hope that makes sense. Available. The default state for an action. We might... we're probably going to get back to this issue and change it a lot in the coming days. I'm aiming at having this one, the action system, reworked at the end of this week, but we will see. Maybe at the end of next week. For example, the entity bowing down or reaching down an initializing phase of the action, processing, I don't know, finishing a finishing phase of the action used when an action successfully finished. Successfully got cancelled. Example for pickup, this would be the entity reaching down and putting the object down. Does that make any sense? HTube, welcome back, welcome back. So you basically want to make a game where you take care of cute creatures. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And interrupting used when an action failed to cancel. Or got interrupted. I don't know how much sense this makes. For pickup, this would be the entity being shoved and dropping whatever it held. Something like that. Just some short notes. So then we can have enum So my question is, we might want to use a namespace here. So we're going to have enum action dot state, I reckon. Eventually. HTube, I think either you saw my message late or there's a 40-second stream delay. Yeah, sometimes I can't answer like right where when the message appears. Try and do my best, however. So action state. How many spaces do we do? Do we actually do 4? Okay. So then we have unavailable, I wonder if we want to do something to better pair them up here. Probably not. Finishing and then interrupting. Interrupting. Yeah, we probably want to do it like this as well, so we don't get any. So enum game.action.state. So action state, unavailable, available, ready, initializing, processing, finishing, interrupting. We have them like this. They can jump like this. We have a short description for them, and that's the action state. Want to put this one, however, do we want to do game.action.dependency? Game.action.state change message. I don't know if we need. I wonder what my reason was for including this one before the summer break. If we go to available, so available can have. Available is the worst one. This one can have. So the previous message here could be ready, finishing, interrupting, or unavailable. While initializing, for instance, could only have ready as its previous. So sending this one. Do we really care? Do we really care about? I'm trying to think of a case where we would care about what the previous state was. I don't know if I can. And so in the previous implementation, we had something like in state, not state. Do we care about this? I don't know. It would be very nice if we could skip these. Let's see here, what do we have? Action jump, dependencies, empty, inspect dependency, in-state focus processing. Yeah, that's beautiful. Pick up in-state. In-state. In-state, in-state. Yeah, what the fuck, I don't think... Yeah, we just use in-state for all of these, and we actually just do... We pretty much use in-state... In-state processing. In-state processing. That's pretty much all of them. Makes me wonder. Let's see here, we have some left. Action interaction, consume, in-state processing. Yeah. Pick up, focus, in-state processing. Here we have collect, not in-state processing. So this is just interrupts processing. Yeah, this is how should I put this? This is just a way of getting some additional functionality in this system in not such a clean way, honestly. But what this tells me is interaction focus, not state processing on place. Yeah, but that's okay. So what I'm wondering here is... In the current implementation, all of the actions dependencies they use in state, and we check if we're processing. And the only two cases where we do something else is for action interaction focus, where we don't want place to be in state processing. And so if we collect a pickup, if we collect, we're going to exit pickup. So my question is, will we ever have an action that has a dependency on another action in some other state than processing? And like evidently we don't with the current implementation, but I'm wondering if like this is more of an interruption, right? This, however, is not. Focus. So this is, we pick something up, we hold it in the hand. It could be this one. And then if we press collect now, so that's basically we want to put it in the backpack. Then action interaction pickup should be interrupted, cancelled. But I wonder, we can probably, yeah, we're gonna redo this. Interrupts processing and providers. We're gonna clean this up, I think. Or we're gonna split them up. So we're gonna have action dependency. Can we do the assumption, or can we assume that all of the action dependencies we're gonna use are always gonna be for processing? Let's just check real quick. What do we have here? We have action collect. It's going to depend on action pickup processing. Consume is going to be pickup processing. Equip is going to be pickup processing. Focus. For this one, we don't have any dependencies. But that's, yeah. Inspect depends on focus processing, pickup depends on focus processing, place depends on pickup, terraform depends on pickup as well, I think. We're gonna check so we hold the correct tool. Action interaction use depends on focus, and all of them are processing actually. Okay. So I wonder if we want to have action dependency. We don't care about this. We don't care about provider, or no, we don't care about provider. Interest processing. Yeah, we're not gonna have an action reference like this. I think I want to do something like we do game. Dependencies, that's how we want to name it. And I wonder if this is weird. If we just want to keep action type here. Which means that we could basically Which means that we could probably, it depends. Depends. If an action has, or if an action depends on multiple other... Nah, we want to get away from that, I think. But if it only depends on one... then we can just keep it as... Does it make any sense that an action, to do an action, we only rely on one other action, or 0 or 1 other actions? Would be very nice if that was the case. And if that is the case, then we probably don't need to do it, define it like this. Dependency. And I'm wondering if we actually have 3 different exit points here. We have processing that goes to finishing or interrupting. So once again, if we talk about pickup, the character or the entity holding the object, that's pickup processing. If we cancel the pickup, so we just want to put the item down again, then we're finishing it. If we're being shoved, we're dropping the item, that's interrupting. But if we start consuming the object we're holding, we're not really finishing the pickup process. And I guess in some ways you could say that we're interrupting the pickup process, but we're not interrupting it in the same way as, for instance, dropping it or being shoved. So like when another action process picks up from a previous action process, I wonder if we want to have one additional step here, or one, like a third option. Then again, I don't know. Let's check description. Let's take this one and put it to let's just take the actions we currently have and jump, use, terraform, place, pick up, inspect, focus, equip, consume, collect. Terraform is probably going to be used eventually, but anyway. I don't think we have any dependency there. Same with action.focus. But then we have so from focus we have inspect, but actually we're going to change this one. Action, interaction, focus. That's inspect, and we have pickup as well. Place, terraform, use. Currently, I think we have use and terraform here as well. Then we have pickup, I think. Pretty sure. And we have collect, consume. Do we have anything else? Collect, consume, equip. Yeah, I guess we can put that one there as well. Oops. Do we have everything done? Focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have use as well. Use place, I mean place. Like, is this seriously the state machine we currently have? Because if so, like, this simplifies stuff a lot. Provider. So if we focus something, we can inspect it, pick it up, use it. Use might actually... This one is broad, unspecific. But if we're focusing something, let's say we can inspect it, we can pick it up, we can use it, we can terraform. And this one is weird. Yeah, depending on what we focus, I guess. And then if we have something picked up, we can collect it. So that's pretty much just putting it in the backpack. Or we can consume it. Or equip it. Or place it. Or cancel the pickup, like dropping it. And if we can have it simple like this, that would be beautiful, because if so, an action only needs to send a message when it enters processing or when it leaves processing, pretty much. If all dependencies are processing, It feels like I'm missing something. But I don't know what. Inspect, this one is the provider. Pickup, this one is the provider. Use, this one is the provider. Terraform, this one is the provider. And what I'm getting at is, if we take a look at the interruptions we had previously, we had interruption on pickup. If we collect, yeah, then we interrupt. And for focus, we have place. So something that is much better to do here. What the fuck is this one? Is a provider, by the way. I don't know about this one. But like, the interruptions only happens in the opposite. So if we're focusing something and we pick it up, or if we're focusing something and we use it, I wonder how we want to do this. Like, if we pick up something we're focusing, we probably still want to focus the item in question. But like action, interaction, consume, if we start consuming, then we want to interrupt the previous. Or fuck, do we? Actually, only if we... Nah, we want to consume, and if we interrupt the... If we stop the if we stop consuming, we still want to have it, like, hold it. I guess it's the same for equip and place. So when do we actually want to... When this one finishes... Yeah, if this one finishes... If this one finishes, this one finishes, this one finishes, or this one finishes, then we want to interrupt this one. If this one finishes, we want to interrupt this one. Is that... If this one finishes... Hmm. Hmm. in the case of focus, if we have the playable entity, focus is always decided by the mouse pointer, basically, what object we're pointing at or highlighting. But if we're talking about these actions for animate entities, like creatures, we're probably going to have an action search, I reckon. So the needs of the creature, if let's say that hunger is at a high value, then hunger will instantiate the action seek. We want to find food or something like that. We find food, that's what we focus, and then we can either inspect, pick up, use, terraform. Actually, we're gonna have consume for focus on some of them, so yeah. Yeah, we want to be able to define these. Okay. I think we don't need to define something like this. Instead, we're just going to have a list of action type, and that's going to be dependencies. Because we might actually have a creature that consume can either be used if something is focused and picked up. We don't need this nor this. But if this one completes, or if this one finishes, finishing. If this one finishes, we need some way for this one to communicate to this one. That the object in question is done, and then this one needs to be able to tell this one to stop focusing the object. Okay. How do we want to store these dependencies though? Like, do we want to have a... What happens if processing, so this one and this one is processing. I'm pretty sure that's how we want to do it. I'm wondering if I wonder if we can make it in such a way that only one action per level can be processing at once. So this one can be processing, this one can be processing at the same time, but this one cannot. But then again, no, that's not entirely true, because I think we want to be able to inspect, for instance. We probably want to be able to do focus, pick up, and then inspect. We don't always want to yeah, we definitely want an arrow from pickup to inspect as well. And how would this look, for instance, if... How would the interaction be if the player picks up a consumable and wants to feed it to a creature. So first the player does interaction focus on the consumable, and then we do pick up. So now we have focus, processing, or maybe not processing, but we have pick up processing. And then we would probably have action interaction feed, which would have dependencies action interaction focus and action interaction pickup. And that would solve it for the playable entity, but for the entity that is being fed, yeah, it should work. Hmm. So for inspect, for instance, it has dependency focus and pickup, but it's an or. So either interaction focus and or interaction pickup. While feed, for instance, would have action interaction focus and action interaction pickup. Dependencies here could be a list of action types, and if it's and or. And if we have a... So if we once again have a system with multiple dependencies... Hmm. Yeah, I think we're gonna do it like this. Struct game action dependency. Does this make sense? So for instance, if we have inspect here, for instance, which we can do on something we focus or on something we hold, then it would be, then we define two of these with one type each here. And if it's feed, for instance, where we need to have something picked up and focused, then the dependency here would have two in the same, I think. Yeah, maybe. Yo, what's up, E-Dragon? Long time no see indeed. Yeah, I'm doing good, doing good. Feels a little bit weird being back, but slowly but surely I'm getting used to it again. Hope you had a wonderful summer, man. And the dependency is always, always, always gonna be processing. We don't need this message, do we? I think we want to do this as well, right? We need a way for hmm. I wonder if we can do so. So previously today I talked about having a counter on dependencies. I wonder if that is a good option. Probably not. Something like this: if counter is 0, then the dependency is fulfilled. If it's greater than 0, it's not fulfilled. So anytime we get a message that a dependency has moved to processing, we decrement it, and anytime we get a message that a dependency has changed from processing, we increment it. But can we get... That's a weird way of doing it. Dependency. It's more like... Is dependency the correct term? Probably not. E-Dragon, creating some type of state machine. Yes, we are. And it's a little bit annoying because it's extremely similar to like the animator state machine, but it's not really. There exists just enough differences for us to not be able to just implement that one. Basically. Because so if we take the animator, E-Dragon action system is like interacting system, or yes, exactly, like it's going to be all the actions and interactions all of our entities can do. So we have a simple system in place right now, and we're currently in the process of improving it, right? So we can do a lot of different stuff. I'm just trying to improve this system a tiny bit right now because I want to begin like adding creatures to this game, and they are going to use this system a lot as well. So I want to improve it and optimize it a tiny bit before we start implementing creatures. Yo, what's up, Derek? Thank you, appreciate it. Hope you had a wonderful summer. Yeah, we're kickstarting this streaming season with the annoying but oh so needed action system. And I think we're starting to get something we can implement tomorrow. We just have a few kinks we need to iron out. I wonder if it's easier for us to try and define the dependencies if we also add, so if we add action, interaction, and we do it like action, interaction, focus, feed. So to be able to feed a creature, we should focus it, and then we should also have something in our hands, right? So something like this. Okay, we're not getting such a good... Yeah, maybe not the best. Anyway, the reason here is we have action, interaction, inspect here, which depends on pickup and focus. But this is... both of these doesn't need to be true for this one to be ready. For this one, it's either action, interaction, focus is processing, or action, interaction, pickup is processing. But for this one, feed, here we need action, interaction, focus to be processing and action, interaction, pickup. We need to be holding something consumable, and we also need to be focusing something that can be fed, right? What's up, Breezing Wind? What kind of creature collecting game would this be? I've got a video, a devlog video on my YouTube channel where I present the kind of creature collecting game this will be. But if you don't want to watch that one, it's going to be very similar to Chao Garden in Sonic, or Viva Pinata, a game developed by Rare in 2008, I think, or something like that. 2005 maybe? But so when we define these dependencies here, we must differentiate between a dependency that is and a dependency that is or. And my idea then was to have, we just define multiple dependencies if it's or, and we add we add additional. So like, for instance, for this, for inspect here, for instance, the inspect action would have 2 dependencies. In one we have interaction pickup here, and in the other one we have action interaction focus here, while action interaction feed would have 1 dependency, and it's going to be pickup and inspect here. Fuck, does that make any sense? Maybe. Okay, so if that's how we do it, so let's skip this one. We don't care about that one. And then we have game action here. Yeah. Just want to pause this one. So, of course, we're gonna have something like and then we're gonna have this one is just gonna be type. And then we have dependency. All right. And this one is going to be an array. dependencies. And we're gonna have and then the idea is that every action has, much like we have right now, I reckon, let's see, action. Yeah, we have a state change event here. Instead, we would like to have processing or something. Processing. Yeah, and this is where we would like a message, right? So we just care about sending a message when we go to action state processing or from action state processing. But that means that we probably want to send some sort of message here. Do we care about... Yeah, we want to send the action in question. Or do we just want to send the action, much like we do right here? I'm wondering if we want to do... if we want to add some logic to these. because like the dependencies might only rely on processing or an action being in processing or the state being processing, but when we want to alter the UI to show this looks weird, but when we want to change the available actions like this, we want to show it for all actions that are ready, pretty much. But that makes me wonder if is that something we want to pull? So every time focus changes, for instance, for the playable entity, we just check which are the ready actions right now and do them, or something like that, maybe. But a dependency here, what I was thinking is, do we want a dependency to have a boolean here for fulfilled or not? Or we can, like, do we want to have the counter here again? Because when we set these up, we're pretty much gonna ask action, where do we have it? Action handler, action state machine, I don't know about that name. But when we start this up, we're pretty much gonna do this. Not really this, but something like this. Get action. So we go through the dependencies and we fill them up, but does it make sense? like what I'm thinking about now is like the logic we're going to use to continuously update these dependencies between fulfilled and not. So previously what we did, which is quite unoptimized, is that like every time an action changed state, all actions that depended on that action checked their dependencies and checked all of their dependencies pretty much. So a lot of iterations. Instead, I'm wondering if we can do something with the counter here. It's a bit weird. So it would pretty much be int and then when we set this one up, we're gonna have link action might be the wrong name. Link action here we do action dot on state change. I don't remember the syntax fully here, but I wonder if we can do something like this. On state change, and then we send the action. I wonder if we can do counter plus equals to a dot is processing. If it's processing, we do -1, otherwise we do 1. Something like that. Or we probably want to add a method here. Okay, we do it like this. So on state change, what's the syntax? Is it something like this? Let's double check. It's not that important. Invoke. Add listener, try set ready state. Okay, beautiful. We're gonna do add listener. So we do link action. Is that what I want to do? Actually, we're gonna write this tomorrow. I wonder if we want to do it like this. Link dependencies to action instances. Update dependency state based on action state. Dependency states. And then pretty much notify when fulfilled. I'm wondering if that's what we want to do. Dependency. Do we want to have this much logic in dependency? So we're going to define dependencies on awake. We're going to link actions to dependencies, but we're going to link them in such a way that the dependency listens to the action state change. And on action state change, we update the counter or whatever. We check if the dependency is fulfilled in some way. And then we notify when fulfilled. I think we want to do it like that. And I think we also only want to notify other... In action, we just want to notify when we move to or from processing. I reckon... But we could probably... I wonder if we just want to send a true or a false, basically. So when an action starts processing, it sends out true. And when it stops processing, it sends out false, pretty much. I wonder about this one. Like, is this the most straightforward way we can do it? Counter. I want to avoid. I basically want to avoid this. So anytime one dependency changes, we check all of the dependencies. I think that's bad. And yeah, we probably want to have state change event. Makes me wonder, do we want to have a state? Like, we're definitely going to have some classes and components that are interested in knowing when an action is ready or interrupted or whatnot. So I wonder if we want to have state change event. Stage change event and state processing event. But by having on state change, if we have this many states, having on state change might be a little bit overkill. I can't imagine us wanting anything else, but I think we want ready and processing. So enter or exit ready, enter or exit processing. Everything else is just going to be used internally. Dependency, dependency, dependency. I think we can skip counter here, actually. I can't imagine us having, at most, we're probably going to have like 2 dependencies here. So checking those, it might be okay. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna make this be a lot nicer, more straightforward. The only, yeah, and I think we're gonna do, yeah, we're gonna link these, we're gonna wait, or as soon as the action they are linked to sends a message, We enable it. This one is also going to have an event, I think. We listen to not this one, but this one. Or this one is going to have an event, and this one will listen to the dependency. Yeah, it's a little bit messy, but hopefully less messy than the current implementation. I guess we're gonna have to find out when we implement it tomorrow. I'm gonna have to run now. We're gonna start with 3-hour streams this week. But tomorrow, so I'm gonna make... We're gonna branch this, and we're gonna have a secondary branch where we try and implement this or clean up this action system, and we're gonna start doing it tomorrow. I think a lot of these things are gonna be much clearer to us tomorrow when we start implementing it. But yeah, it's... Hopefully, I really hope they will become clearer, but we'll see. So we're going to continue this tomorrow. Calvino, 3 hours, I need 8. Yeah, I won't be able to do 8-hour streams this week or in the near future, but maybe in a month or two I might be able to. E-Dragon, take care, you too. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. Where we continue implementing this system. Peace.